We all know that Vikings were strong, fearsome warriors that would stop at nothing to plunder whatever they damn well please. But their strength is nothing compared to the barbarous Viking Berserkers, a class of insane motherfuckers that were more animal than man. Besides their ferocious fighting style and uncontrollable rage, these hardened warriors would gnaw at their own iron shields. In fact, there's an account of a Viking berserker who ate his whole shield. And I quote, "A demonical frenzy suddenly took him. He furiously bit and devoured the edges of his shield. He kept gulping down fiery coals. He snatched live embers in his mouth and let them pass down into his entrails. He rushed through the perils of crackling fires, and at last, when he had raved through every sort of madness, he turned his sword with raging hand against the hearts of 6 of his champions. Their intoxication and rage for battle was so intense that their condition was labeled Berserkergang, i.e. berserker fit or frenzy. It was characterized by performing impossible feats of human strength, intense bouts of rage, and howling like a wild animal. In this state, all capacity for human thought/reason was out the door, as these crazed warriors would rip their enemies to shreds with their bare fucking hands. These intense shifts in mood were often referred to as hamask, which translates to change form, usually as a bear or wolf. Now, they didn't literally change form, but their dedication was such that they would emulate a bear or wolf by living in the woods and literally acting like a wild beast. Roleplay, isn't it fun?
All right, let's do this.
Come on, try.
Ahoy, thar be boobies.
You're ruining it. I want you to take me like Captain Jack Sparrow.
And as a final ritual before entering the battle, the Viking berserker would drink the blood of a bear or wolf. Sounds nutritious.
I drink human blood as much as I can.
Because they sought to transform themselves, they usually entered the fray with nothing but an animal pelt. Their weapons? Hands and teeth, son! They literally ripped their enemies apart like primal beasts. To attain these crazed states, some authors have suggested that these berserkers were tripping on mushrooms. In the Journal of Psychiatry, Howard Fabing hypothesized that berserkers may have taken the Amanita Muscaria, a psychedelic mushroom that looks somewhat similar to the growth mushroom in Super Mario Bros. Further justification is provided by Paul Stamets, who noticed that the sword handles of the Vikings bared a resemblance, and in some cases, a taxonomically correct depiction of the Amanita Muscaria. Interesting side note, the Amanita Muscaria may have been the inspiration behind Christmas, as these mushrooms typically grow under conifer or birch trees, and have a distinct red and white appearance, not unlike Christmas presents. Reindeer, as it so happens, love eating the Amanita Muscaria, and when doing so, when they're bent to the ground eating the mushroom, it may appear that their own nose is red.
Somebody start having a little private party. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. As for who, well, you ever wonder how his nose got so red?
The whole flying aspect might be attributed to the fact that people who consumed the mushroom were imagining this phenomena. They literally thought the reindeer might have been flying, and they also get the sensation of flying themselves. So one would think if reindeer were taking it, they would be imagining themselves flying as well.
Whoa! What the?
Shamans typically were the ones handing out the mushrooms, and would dress in apparel that matched the mushroom's appearance, not unlike Santa Claus, and would hand out the mushroom during the winter solstice. Also, according to some historians, these practices occurred in Siberia, which is reminiscent of the North Pole. And because there is an abundance of snow in this region, doors would often be blocked. Thus, the shamans would enter and exit through the roof.
Hey, yo! What's that? Whoa, whoa!
And as a reward for doing so, people would often give them food for their services. Milk and cookies much? One last piece of information regarding the Amanita Muscaria that you might find interesting is the idea put forth by John Marco Allegro in his book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. While controversial, Allegro put forth the idea that Jesus was code for a type of hallucinogen, i.e. the Amanita Muscaria, and that the New Testament is a coded record for a shamanistic cult. Now, before you disregard this information on the mere face of it, Mr. Allegro was a scholar of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are ancient Jewish religious manuscripts, which gives some credence to the words he speaks. Now, back to the Viking Berserkers. It may be that the Amanita Muscaria had no role in the offbeat moods of these crazed warriors, and in fact, may have been caused by a mental disorder, e.g. schizophrenia, or even excessive alcohol consumption.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Whatever the case may be, I think we can all agree that these were some unhinged warriors who would have been scary to meet in the battlefield. So scary that some historians believe that they may have inspired the legends of werewolves, or even the horrifying beast Grendel from Beowulf. In any case, I hope you found this information regarding Viking Berserkers interesting. And if you did, I would appreciate if you subscribed and liked this video. But until next time, catch you on the flip side.
Steps into it.
Bruh.